Hey, this is Jack from Alphacharts with the State of the Market video. Today is November 2nd, 2024. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. And I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, thank you all for watching the video. If you haven't done so, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. As always, please. You can also find me at X at Alphacharts365. I post things there all week long for free. My thoughts, my ideas. Sometimes they're humorous, sometimes they're not. Um, and I also have a subscription group. So what do you get with a subscription group? It's $10 a month. So what do you get for that $10? You're gonna get a weekend watch list video that's in depth, also a big market review with the internals, right? So that is about a 45-minute video plus or minus. You're going to get a focus list video as well on Sundays. And all those charts are annotated charts, which are also posted separately. You're going to get the midweek market note. You're going to get a Sunday market note. You're going to get a midweek video. You're going to get nightly scans for idea generation. You're gonna get daily posts that I post just for subscribers with my thoughts on the market and all kinds of information there. We do live streams now. We're shooting for every other week. Live streams where we can do question and answer and chart requests and things of that nature. We do the pick of the week, which is a weekly program that we're doing. We've been doing it for just over a quarter now. It's been hugely successful. So we've been really good with that. That's actually one of my. I keep allocating more and more money to that particular program because it's working so well. So tons and tons of information. Again, $10 a month, super inexpensive, very valuable if you're working full time, you have a family, you're new to trading, you just need a second opinion. I mean, that is the best deal out there that you're going to get. Again, for such a complete, robust subscription for such a small price, right? So consider that again at Alphacharts365 and click that subscribe button. If you're not on X and you're only on YouTube, I just started a YouTube membership. So it's at Alphacharts, right? And then you would click join. So Alphachart, just Alphacharts, not Alphacharts365 on YouTube. It's where you're watching this now, probably. And that is everything you see here on the video side of things. So if you're not on X, but you still want most of all of this, you can go right over here and click on the join button on YouTube, and all those videos are uploaded into the membership area of YouTube as well. Okay, so same videos, same everything. It just gives another option if you're not an X. All right, so consider that again if you're a YouTube only watcher of this video. All right, thank you very much. Consider joining. Let's get into these videos. Here we go. We have a beautiful 5-wave up pattern in the SPY, right? And then we started to get this kind of roll over here, and now we're probably in some sort of corrective action. That's the way I'm looking at this. Corrective action, the 50-day held right over here. That's a beautiful thing to see. But you see the next day, we tried to bounce hard and really got shoved back down, lower volume. I don't think anybody wants to front run this market in front of the elections and FOMC next week. And I think that we're going to be in a pretty nasty chop zone at best going into those things. But right now, it looks like there's some corrective action taking place. And I'm okay with that, right? Let's I think these levels are going to be important. These were prior important levels on the way up, and I think on the way down they will also be they'll be important levels, okay? On the week, we had SPY was down 1.38%. Wow, that's not good. Down 1.38%, and you can see it's pretty nasty looking week. Looking at the RSP, it was down 0.96. So again, a nasty week for the RSP. Two of them in a row, really. That was a 2% down. That's 3% over the last 2 weeks. SPY was down, almost 2.5%, right? So RSP, I'm just going to the daily on the RSP. You see it actually already lost the 50-day. So it is now underneath, starting to live under the 50-day. But we do have a horizontal level right here, which it has not violated yet. Okay, and it may, right? It can. I'm just saying that it has not yet. Not a good look, whether you say it's above this level or not above this level, but it's below the 50-day. This is corrective action, right? Um, we'll see if it can bounce here. Maybe it does. Maybe this makes some kind of head and shoulders top here. We'll have to wait and see. Do I think this is the big one coming? I don't. This is my personal bias. Again, make your own decisions. But this is this looks like, just corrective action, right? Again, maybe it's gonna be a top, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a top and it comes down just to this prior band of support in this area right here. We'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. One day at a time. Looking at the cues. Man, that is some choppy mess, right? Choppy, sloppy type of mess. So we had this big up. We couldn't quite make a new high, right? I would have liked to see this take out this prior high. It could not do that, right? This 50, we'll call it 503 and change. It didn't make it up that far, right? And so now you have a significant lower high right there. Came back, pretty nasty day. Above the 50-day, which is flattening. Very likely, I think we break below it again into this corrective action. Could be wrong, but that's my opinion. Down 1.59 on the week, so not a great looking week. And this kind of shows it. Again, maybe it's some sort of, maybe it just makes a higher low, higher low, and maybe it makes a higher low somewhere in here, and then we can move higher from that point. But I still think that there could be some more choppy, sloppy mess coming up. Equal weights were down 1.08, and you can see they've been down 3 weeks in a row. So mega caps getting hit harder than the other parts, but they're both getting hit. 90 has always been the area that, again, let's go to the weekly on this one. You can see 90 has been a kind of our important level, and we are basically at the bottom end of that at 89.80 is where we're at. So we're right at the bottom end of 90, right? Slightly above the 50-day, but it's flat. These are kind of declining. Again, corrective action, in my opinion. Usually, this index has no problem undercutting the 200-day, and we may see an undercut of the 200-day again, but you would have a low, higher low, and maybe another higher low here, and that would just be part of a longer-term bullish, but a shorter-term corrective action. Okay. Looking at the mid caps, they were down only 0.16, not bad, but the prior week they were down 2.79. So again, you can see how this is a problem. Get my dog up here with me. All right, so yeah, so that's again not a good look. You see the selling pressure there, going to the daily above the 50-day, but again, just coming down to a horizontal support area, and I think we're seeing a lot of that. We're getting close to those prior highs, horizontal support areas on a lot of different charts. We talked about that so many times already. Looking at the IWM was basically flat on the week, right? Prior week was down 3%. Now we're flat. Inside week, a lot of inside weeks, a lot of inside days. Right here, inside week and an inside day. Very easy for this to kind of lose this 50-day, I think. It's kind of held it here, held it here, undercut it here, came right back in. Okay, that's good. But if it undercuts it, I think that this 210-ish area is a likely area of support. We'll see. Again, is that far away? It's only about 3-4%. But if you own some of these stocks that are more growthy type names, they could go to 2 or 3 times that, down 10-12%. And that hurts you, right? Because again, we're playing stocks usually, not always on the index level. So here is the financials, again, holding up better than most. We saw many of these index charts looking at testing the 50-day. Financials are holding up better than most. Again, they may come down and test the 50-day, which is right actually in the area of this horizontal support. And that'd be a nice little confluence of area, right? Maybe 45.75, 45.80, somewhere around there. So we could see that potentially come back. SMH. So we have low, higher low, higher low. I thought that was a higher low. Maybe we could say this is a higher low, right? I think if we break this area, That's a big problem. So I'm willing to move this out. I would have liked this to be the higher low. It wasn't. Okay, that's okay. I'm okay with that. Um, but I don't want to see it break 237.50-ish or so. That would be a major, major problem. Again, false breakout here, lower high. Now we're going to start to get a series of lower highs and lower lows here. And again, this is corrective action. How long does this go on? We don't know. We can't see the future. But you see it dabbles in the 200-day and it recovers quickly. So maybe it's going to dabble with the 200-day again. And then hopefully we see a quick recovery and we're back. Bulls will take the ball again. We don't know that, but that's what the history has shown us. Right now, though, I think it's a straight up avoid. Looking at the weekly, it was down 3% on the week. Again, just doesn't look very good. And looking at the equal weighted, they were down 3.88. So even more selling than the cap weighted, right? The cap weighted are actually doing better than the smaller cap semiconductor names. And again, false breakout, we came back, retested the area, could not get back above it. Again, you have that significant lower high, and so not looking great on the equal weighted. Again, slashed through both the 50 and the 200 on this day, down 5%. So brutal. Came back inside day. I mean, this is likely, in my opinion, going to be inside and down, not inside and up. Now, inside and up would be the expectation breaker. That would be, okay, yes, bulls are going to get control again. My expectation here would be inside and down on semiconductors. Looking at IYT, we talked about this being very bullish. Let's go to the weekly real fast, just so we can see it. So we have this big potential pattern. It's still there. But on the breakout here, this was very bullish on the breakout, right? And then it got shoved back in again. Then so it went from very bullish to bearish. We had a nasty follow through, down 2%. And then this week was only up 0.22 on the week. Now going to the daily, you can see it. Here was the breakout. Here was the push back. And then we have a lower high. So we have lower low. We have a high, low, lower high. And not quite a lower low yet, but we'll see. But I don't like this type of pattern, and I think that it's gonna, this was the first clue that we had. If you go back and look at the videos, that something could be awry in the markets back over here when transport specifically could not move higher. I was like, ooh. So then, it was a problem. This is, the equal weights are holding up well. The cap weighted wasn't quite much. And then the other one was housing. Go back and look at it. I talked about housing being maybe the canary in the coal mine. All right. This type of action right here was not good at all, in my opinion. We sliced through all the moving averages, came to that horizontal level support. Now we held it for now. We held it. We're right there. But again, we have a flat 50-day price living underneath it now. It looks like housing could be in trouble at this point. Maybe a retest of the 200. I could see that. That's a possibility. Or potentially even lower. We'll find out. But again, this is a big problem. We're not even going to macro things, but home construction is a huge part of our economy because the ancillary parts as well, not only the building of the house, but it has its tendrils and everything and jobs, right? We saw the jobs they only created 12,000 jobs, I think. And let me guess, in a month, that'll be revised lower. That's my guess. We're starting to see companies tightening their belts, being more efficiency. We're seeing layoffs. I know people in Southern Wine, they chopped a huge chunk of their staff last month. So that's the wine industry, right? That's not even like, tech industry, the back to work mandates, right? We're seeing that they're doing attrition through that, right? So they don't have to announce a layoff, but they know 10% of the people are not moving back to the office. You're seeing it all over the place where companies are trimming and laying people off or causing people to quit on their own, not realizing that the market maybe isn't as strong as it was. Again, that's kind of more of a macro thing, not what this video is really focused on. But I think the cracks are out there for, maybe next year something to happen. Anyway, going back to the housing market, it's really, really important. Sorry for that side note. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if it at least tests the 200-day at this point. Again, flat 50 days going lower. And looking at XHB, similar enough, right? probably come down to maybe the 200. Maybe it comes all the way back here, right? That's a possibility too. Maybe the 100 level gets tested. That's a pretty big, 10, 12%. And we don't know. And then there's a bigger topping pattern happening. Again, that's in the future. We don't know any of that information. We're going to take it day by day, week by week. I'm in a cautious stage. I think cautious to slightly bearish. The thing is, there's a lot of unknowns out there, which is why I don't want to go bearish. I want to just stay cautious, high levels of cash. This is what I tell my subscribers, and we talked about this actually coming into this week. We were cautious, taking profits, high levels of cash, taking the feedback from the market. Because again, I believe the market is good 2 or 3 times a year, maybe up to even on the bull market 4 times a year. And then there's time periods where we get choppy, sloppy mess where it makes it hard to make money. This is one of those times where at best it's choppy, sloppy, and we have a news-driven market with a presidential election on Tuesday, U.S. presidential election, and then FOMC, I believe, on Thursday. Check the notes, but yeah, I believe it's gonna be Thursday. So huge news-driven cycle. We may not even know who wins the presidential election for another 2, 3 days, right? Everyone's going to accuse each other of cheating, and we know that's going to happen, right? And so yeah, it's going to be a really tough market, and we're in the middle of earnings season. We just had most of the mega caps, but it's still a huge week coming up this week. So all that being said, I think a cautious stance based on my charts, based on what's going on, news driven. If you like this type of analysis, I do so much more for subscribers, including the internals. And believe me, they're telling a story too. That's in my in-depth market report and watch list video that I give everybody that subscribes. It's $10 a month. Whether you're on YouTube, click right there. If you're on Twitter, click right there, or X. If you're on YouTube, you just click the join button right there. Super easy, super simple. Month to month, there's no contracts. Give it a try. I think you're really gonna like it. Like I said, we've been growing the channel, and it's been fantastic. So if you're a member, thank you very much. If you are thinking about becoming a member for $10 a month, it just makes sense. Have a great day. Bye bye.